I am back. Brandon Walker on the Brandon Walker College Football Show with Brandon Walker. I am back. We took an unscheduled week off during the college football season, which is always a good idea for growing a college football show. It always helps when you can take a week off right in the height of the season. But I had a death in the family, so I had to go home and handle some business. I am back now. Good to see everybody. Hello. In the off season, I gave you my top 15 quarterbacks of the preseason. It was a prediction. It was to see how close I would get. It was to acknowledge who I thought were the 15 best quarterbacks in the country. Now, we've got a lot to talk about. I assume you guys are going to call, and you're going to want to talk about Tennessee and Alabama. You're going to want to talk about Texas and Quinn Ewers, perhaps. You're going to want to talk about the dumpster fire that is Oklahoma University football. You're going to want to talk about a lot of things, and we can talk about all of it. But I'm going to let you callers do that. I'm just simply going to give you a list today. TJ, if you'll bring up the preseason list that I had. We'll figure out this mic in a minute, or maybe not. I have lost a little weight, so kudos to me for doing that. My hair is not looking great today. TJ, how are you?
Good.
Chop on.
Yeah, we keep chopping. We fired our offensive coordinator. First time Shiana's fired a coach during a season.
No matter what happens, we keep chopping.
Yeah, I think that it shows that we're willing to attempt to win games.
No matter what happens.
Yeah.
We keep chopping.
There's other schools in the Big Ten that probably should have fired coordinators by now that haven't.
And if there wasn't a terrible offensive pass interference call late in the first half, maybe Rutgers wins that game the other night. Who knows?
Yeah, I mean, I hate making what-ifs, but
I enjoy it.
Other than that, though, I will say, and I said this to you before the show off air, my main priority Friday was making sure the college football show was, a good experience for everybody, and I appreciate everybody from Rutgers and everybody from our side that
we had a great time at Rutgers. We took the Barstool College Football Show to Piscataway, or to which one? New Brunswick?
We were in Piscataway.
To Piscataway. Dave said it over and over and over. I did not expect to see a green tree-lined campus in the middle of New Jersey. It actually was quite beautiful. Pretty shocking. Had parking everywhere. Everywhere. When I found out we were going to the middle of Jersey to do a show, I'm like, where am I going to park? But it was like an actual college campus that you would find anywhere in the country. I don't know where y'all found the land, but congratulations to you. I guess that's why it's in Piscataway.
Yeah, we're spread out, kind of like Disney World.
Here's my preseason list. I had defending Heisman winner Bryce Young at number 1. I had C.J. Stroud, Ohio State, number 2. I had Tyler Van Dyke from Miami, 3. You can read the list. Although based on my Twitter, some of you can't. You have Caleb Williams, USC. I had Devin Leary from NC State. I thought he'd be the 5th best quarterback. Sam Hartman, Brennan Armstrong, Talia, Dylan Gabriel, Hendon Hooker, Will Rogers, Spencer Rattler, Cam Rising, Clayton Tune from Houston, and Quinn Ewers from Texas. Now, we now have I've expanded it to a top 20 midseason. Don't do it yet. I want to tell you who's falling out. Unfortunately, I missed the boat on Tyler Van Dyke, though I think he's still a good quarterback. They just have a bad coordinator down there for him. He's out. Devin Leary fell out. Brennan Armstrong, no longer there. Talia Tagovailoa, no longer there. Now I can't read it because it's not up anymore. Dylan Gabriel, gone. Spencer Rattler, long gone. Clayton Tune, bye-bye. And the rest will be joined by others. So here we go. My top 20 quarterbacks midseason 2022. Let me give it to you right now. Number 1, Ohio State, C.J. Stroud is the best quarterback in the country, has been the best quarterback in the country, has been lights out. I will need to see the list. Number 2, streaking up from a preseason ranking of 11, the great Will Rogers from Mississippi State University has been fantastic, leads the country in several passing categories. Number 3, guess I'm just not going to see that list. Number 3 is Hendon Hooker, Tennessee. His stats, by the way, not nearly as good as you think they'd be, but stats don't tell the whole story. He's helped them become a dominant team. Caleb Williams, 4. Bryce Young, Alabama, falls from 1 to 5. Nothing he can't make up in the second half of the season. Quinn Ewers, Texas, 6. I thought about putting him even higher. Drake May, North Carolina has been incredible. DTR from UCLA has been incredible. Michael Penix Jr. leads the country in passing yards. He is number 9. Max Duggan for TCU. Then you can see Sam Hartman, Wake Forest. Cam Rising, Utah, 13. DJ has been very good at Clemson this year. Grayson McCall, Coastal Carolina. Spencer Sanders from Oklahoma State. Jalen Daniels, Kansas. Jaron Hall, 17, BYU. J.J. McCarthy, Michigan. Jordan Travis, Florida State. And number 20, Austin Reed from Western Kentucky. What an incredible list. Incredible list by me. TJ, do you want to give me some props at all, or?
Great job, Brandon.
Thank you very much.
Some people, lesser national football hosts, after a week off, wouldn't be able to conjure such a list.
It really wouldn't. That's why I got a week off in the middle of the season, so I could come up with this. It took me 8 days to come up with this list.
Deserved.
I've been in the lab. Let's see if how the quote tweets are going. Having Will Rogers over Hendon Hooker is laughable, says somebody who can't fucking read. Where's future number 1 pick Will Levis? Probably getting ready to get his ass whipped. No Levis. Yes, that's correct. No Aiden O'Connell. That's also correct. Where's Bo Nix? Probably Eugene, Oregon. Dun, dun, dun. All right. Good stuff. 888-STOOL-22 is a number you can call and get on the show. You want to go ahead and start taking some calls and tell me who they are. I know number 1, so I'll just go ahead and take him blind. Otherwise, I don't remember anybody because I've been gone a week because, again, you get to take a week off if you do well enough. We go to Bubs in Iowa to start the party tonight. Hello, Bubs.
Brandon, Bubs at Tub Club. Hope you're doing average. Let's real quick R&R update. I shot you a DM, hoping you can help me with my promo video.
Okay.
Talk about that another time. We'll start with trivia, though. This former Alabama player excelled under Nick Saban. On top of that, though, his dad also played for Saban at Michigan State. Which player am I talking about?
I mean, that's isn't that Mark Ingram? Didn't Mark Ingram play for Saban when he was an assistant somewhere? Maybe it's not Mark Ingram. Is it Mark Ingram?
Nicely done. Yep.
Okay.
Didn't miss a beat. Didn't miss a beat.
No, I'm usually not going to. Bubs, what you got?
All right. So then my question for you today is there any chance whatsoever that you see a possibility of Quinn Ewers winning a Heisman with the amount of games he's missed?
I do think it is a possibility. It is a remote possibility, but it is a possibility still. Listen, right now C.J. Stroud, I think, is the odds-on favorite, and he's played very well. But he hasn't played Michigan yet, and he hasn't played Penn State. He hasn't played his marquee games yet. So if he throws up a couple stinkers, he comes back to the pack. Bryce Young hasn't been all that great this year. He's been fine. And there are other players there. Caleb Williams will have to be accounted for. There's other players in the mix. But we really haven't gotten into overdrive on this Heisman race yet. Now, Quinn Ewers has missed a couple games, but if he were to run the table in the Big 12, and that's a tall task. They have to go to Oklahoma State. They have to play a lot of other good teams. If he were to run the table and they win the championship and they go 11-2, and he is the main reason that has happened, you really got to give him a long look. I think he's going to be I think he's Heisman quality quarterback. I think he's one of the best, most talented quarterbacks in the country, and he hasn't missed all that much time. Right now it feels like a lot of time, but in the middle of November we're going to look back and say, well, he missed 3 games, but look how he's made it up. So, yes. Will he win the Heisman? Probably not. Is there a chance? Certainly a chance. Thank you, Bob.
Brandon, appreciate your time as always.
888-STOOL-22. We go to Kyle in Austin, probably Texas. Hello, Kyle.
Hey, what's up, Brandon? Glad you're back.
Thank you.
I know you're from West Point, and y'all don't have any, but have you ever been to Ward's, and do you like Ward's if you have been?
There was a time right out of college where I had a small newspaper job in Bogalusa, Louisiana, and I lived in Poplarville, and down in South Mississippi they had Ward's all over the place. I've eaten Ward's like 3 times. It's fine. They got decent cheeseburgers. I would liken their cheeseburgers to Sonic quality. But yeah, it's fine. Their chili cheese fries are pretty good.
Okay. Yeah, the chili cheese fries are great. What do you think about a throwback uniform for Georgia interlocking MSU?
Oh, for Mississippi State to wear a throwback uniform. Yeah, well, I've always heard that logo is hard to get, so hopefully we could put it together. It would be fantastic. I would love it. It would be ideal. Thank you very much. 888 Stool 22. How's life going for everybody out there? Let's go to Mark in Philly. Go ahead, Mark.
B-Walk, I missed you in Philly at the dozen.
Yep.
We both know that the experts would have taken the Yak down, but I'm happy you're back. You may not remember, but on your last show, I called in and told you UCLA and Kansas would cover and win as dogs, and told you Mississippi State would pummel A&M.
Yep.
All three happened. Stayed hot this last weekend. Shout out to Tennessee, and that is one of the two wells I'm going back to today. Tennessee's passed every test possible, and I think Hooker's the type of QB that can speed up the change of a program at this point. I don't know if they can beat Bama if Bryce Young plays, but if Bryce Young is banged up or if Jalen Milroe's in at all, I like Tennessee to compete and to cover 8. And then with my other bet, which is probably my favorite bet of the week, I love Kansas plus 7.5 against the dumpster fire that is Oklahoma. I walked out of that Kansas game that they lost their star QB in, feeling even better about them. They competed tooth and nail with a very good TCU team with a backup. That same TCU team that blew OU out, and now that OU team is a 7.5-point favorite over them. Give me Tennessee and Kansas as live dogs.
I don't love the Tennessee pick, but I don't hate it, and the Kansas pick's probably pretty sharp too. I will say this, Mark. I was out last week, so I didn't get to talk to you, but I saw you put one pick on. I saw you put one pick and one pick only on Twitter on Saturday morning. I said, well, I'm going to take it, and I ended up. It was a loser. So, but I've gotten over that. Do you know what pick it was?
It was a terrible over. Bowling Green and Scott Loeffler is dead to me.
Okay.
Their coach punted on 4th and 9 in plus territory, down 38-3. I believe in that game. Bowling Green should fire that man immediately. Yeah, that was a terrible loser. But otherwise, it's still a pretty good Saturday. Wish I would have been able to call in Tennessee and Kansas State.
I mean, you're still one of the best callers I have with the picks. You and Takuchi are my two horses. So thank you very much. 888 Stool 22. I did DM Takuchi from Toronto on Saturday morning and say, hey, you got a pick for me? And he served up a piping hot winner. Not to impugn Mark, because Mark's great. 888 Stool 22. We go to line 6. That's where Matt is in the state of Kentucky. Hello, Matt.
Hey, Brandon. I'm sitting here worried about how bad y'all are going to abuse our offensive line. What do you think?
Well, I've seen this movie a lot, brother. I've seen Mississippi State football a lot in my life. I would be shocked if Kentucky didn't win this game. However, all the context clues lean towards Mississippi State. We have a very physical defense, and your offensive line's been bad. I thought if Levis plays, it changes a lot of things, but I thought your offensive coaching and play calling and philosophy the other night was about as cowardly as I've ever seen it. If you're going to play a 60-minute game, don't try to protect your quarterback for 60 minutes because you're not going to win. Kentucky losing to South Carolina the other night was a huge surprise to me, and I was shocked by the way Kentucky approached that football game.
Yeah, I was there, and it wasn't pretty at all.
It looked like they decided early they were fine with losing, and I don't understand that. That is not a Mark Stoops trait. That's why I'm scared, because Mississippi State's coming in favored and better on paper, and this is the exact game that Kentucky jumps up and beats Mississippi State. I'm terrified. Thank you very much. 888 Stool 22. Interesting subjects here. We go to Eddie in Orange. It just says Orange. It could be Orange County, could be Orange Beach, could be just could be a Syracuse fan. I don't know. Hello, Orange Eddie.
Yeah, Orange. It's in the heart of Orange, California, the heart of Big Ten country. Wanted to send my condolences to the King.
Thank you.
Been doing a little burning of sage for you, King.
Thank you.
But wanted to talk about how you are unbiased, a genius, one of the only national, international college football reporters who actually pays attention to things, unlike the two blobs, Rico Bosco and Big Ev.
Sure.
And that USC has one of the best defenses in the country. Actually, the number one ranked defense in the Pac-12 when you go by points.
People have this idea about USC. Oh my God, they're scoring a whole lot of points, and Caleb Williams and Addison, and they're scoring a whole lot of points, and they're winning shootouts. No, they're not. First of all, their offense is good, but it hasn't been like elite yet. It hasn't been as elite as it's going to be as they play more games together. Their offense has been pretty good. Their defense has been fucking lights out. What was the score the other day? 30-14. I mean, they're giving up. I'm saying around 13 to 15 points a game. Like, they've been really good, and that's what people looked on paper this year and said they're going to be a bad defense. Well, they're not.
Yeah, I mean, this Washington State scored 41 on Oregon on the road, scored 14 points on USC, and USC has only given up 7 points in the third quarter all season.
Washington State also has Cam Ward from Incarnate Word, who's been he hasn't been the best quarterback in the Pac-12, but they score points. They can score points. They went on the road, scored enough to beat Wisconsin. They obviously, what he just said, they lost to Oregon. And I think that game was at home, but they lost to Oregon, but they scored a lot of points. But yes, USC definitely has a much better defense, and people said their defense and their offensive line's been very good too.
Yeah, I mean, they have one of the top-rated offensive lines in the country. A little banged up, but if last time the USC went to Rice-Eccles, they blew out Utah. Utah is really dumb when it comes to playing defense against a mobile quarterback. They love to blitz. They don't stop playing man. And as long as your quarterback can run a 4.5, you're going to beat Utah. And that's been proven so far this year. It'll be proven again on Saturday.
That's very interesting because the two teams that have beaten Utah have that exact recipe, and both of those quarterbacks, while good, actually DTR is good, Anthony Richardson has potential, Caleb Williams is better than both. So I'm starting to love USC in this game because people are saying Utah is a tough place to play, Utah. Well, if that's the case, if they're such a good team, if they're such a good program, why have they lost their only two stiff tests this year, at Florida and at UCLA? Answer me that question.
Their coaches doesn't know how to play zone against a mobile quarterback. He thinks that blitzing every time is great, and they don't have the horses in the front seven this year. Yeah. They're smaller than they normally are. Yeah. And if you run Travis Dye is going to go over 100, yeah. And they have one elite corner and then 5 guys in the secondary who stink. So Mario Williams, Brendan Rice, those guys are going to go off. Addison might be locked down, but everybody else is going crazy. I got to go, Brandon, because I have 4 kids, and they want lunch out here. So I'll talk to you later.
Oh, that guy just got to go'd me. Okay. Shit. First of all, I wasn't going to keep talking to you. It was going to be over anyway. You didn't have to got to go me. So I just get an outfit on my own show? He got to go'd me. I got to go. Like, I'm the one with the show. I'm the one, so I got to go. All right. Fuck me. TJ, don't let people got to go me. Kyle in Oregon. Hello, Kyle.
Hey, Brandon. How are you doing?
Great.
Great. Hey, I got a quick question. If Oregon wins out, where do you see them finishing?
Well, considering how good the Pac-12 is, and I don't know if anybody's noticed, but the Pac-12's really good. It has a depth of teams it hasn't had in a while. UCLA, Utah, USC. Washington's better than we expected. Washington State's better than we expected. Oregon State's not a bad team. And then Oregon has gotten up off the mat after their shellacking against Georgia. So if they were to win out, I think they would be in the playoff conversation. Now, I don't have much faith in Oregon to win out. I don't have much faith in them. I do think they could get UCLA, but I don't know that they're going to be able to run the table, because every time you come up with a scenario in the last few seasons about, okay, Oregon just has to do this and they're going to be home free, they never do it. So I don't know if this is a good enough team to run the table, but if they ran the table, they're in the playoff conversation easily.
Awesome. Thank you.
I always get let's see if I can't put this mic right up in my crotch. There we go. How's that? How's that? Right up in the dick. This mic's coming right from my penis head. I don't mind that. people always call or just not just call, but on Twitter. Hey, if this team goes undefeated, do you think they can be in the playoff? Yeah, I sure do. That's what it takes to go to the playoff. So if they finish, yeah.
I did think your Texas thing was interesting this weekend.
And the Barstool Sports tweeted out, and nobody gets it. Nobody has the vision I have. That's a problem with me. Being the best college football mind in America, I see things nobody else sees. Like last year when we've had the first playoff ranking, I said, guys, Cincinnati is going to make the playoff. And they're like, oh, my God, they fucked Cincinnati. They put them way too far down. I saw it. A couple of years ago when Notre Dame was in the ACC, I said, they're going to go to the playoff. No, they're not going to beat Clemson. Well, and now this. And if everything holds up where everybody has 0 or 1 loss, then, yeah, they probably won't get in. But guess what? Everything ain't going to hold up. Everything ain't going to hold up. Georgia, with undefeated, is beatable. Alabama, undefeated, beatable. Ohio State still has their tough games in front of them. These things change. And if Texas goes 11-2, and that's a big if because the Big 12 is good too. If Texas goes 11-2, and their only losses are when their quarterback was hurt, they're at least going to be they're going to be a topic of conversation in the playoff committee's room. And if they went 11-2 and didn't get in, what great advertisement for a 12-team playoff. Because if they were 11-2 at the end of this year and they won in the last 7 or 8 games, they would be one of the 2 or 3 best teams in the country. It's just interesting to think about. That's all. Thomas in Chicago, go.
Hey, Brian, how you doing?
Good fun.
I got office trivia for you, and then I got a couple of college football takes. So office trivia is who are the 2 Philadelphia athletes Jim's athletic company brings in to interview for them to sign with them?
They bring in first baseman Ryan Howard and NBA Hall of Famer Julius the Dr. Irving.
TJ, ring the bell. Ring the bell for this man.
Ring it. Thank you. It's always fun to do office trivia. Now continue.
With your, I think Bo Nix is maybe not in the list, but a conversation to be between like 15 and 20, just for like how much better I feel like he is with Oregon and how like I feel people like didn't give him those chances even though Auburn. I feel like Auburn now looks like losers for that.
Yeah.
But then obviously like him not being there, I'm not upset. Obviously you're smart and you're the best college football mind. But what my bigger question is, and like talking about how good the Pac-12 is, and your Texas take, and going off what TJ said about how a visionary you are. If there was a 12-team playoff this year, and then it's obviously the 3, Ohio State, Alabama, and Georgia. Yeah. What percent would you give them to win? Would you take them, or would you take the field?
Those top 3 or somebody else. I would lean like 80-20. Those 3.
Because you're talking about Texas, maybe.
Yeah, well, here's the thing.
Oregon.
Ohio State looks to be the furthest ahead of their competition. Like Georgia has looked very beatable in the SEC a couple times, so both to Kent State and then to Missouri. Alabama's looked beatable multiple times. Ohio State's looked beatable once to Notre Dame in the season opener. I kind of give you a pass in the season opener. But who out there can match their level of, especially if you have 2 or 3 weeks to prepare, who out there can match their level of talent and coaching? I just don't think Michigan can do it. Clemson, perhaps. Clemson, perhaps. Otherwise, if Texas were to get hot, Texas has shown they can compete with Alabama. So that's an interesting question. But I think I would go 80% those 3, 20% the field.
Okay. Yeah.
Thank you very much for the call. 888-STOOL-22. I almost took a break right then. I almost went back to sling. Took a break. It's a shame we never get. Are you eating? Was that an oyster? What was that? Is that a ring pop? Are you vaping? Are you vaping candy right now?
It's a juicy drop pop.
A juicy drop pop. How old are you?
I don't know. It was just in here. I'm 25. I turned 26 in January.
Is it good?
Not really.
All right. By the way, all right. The candy we got from Canada.
Coffee crisp.
I would like some more.
Okay.
I think it's that time of year we need some coffee crisp.
Yeah.
If you're Canadian, and you have coffee crisp in your country, please send it to 333 7th Avenue in Manhattan.
Floor 2.
Second floor, 333 7th Avenue, New York, 10001.
Did you pay any mind to the baseball streams being back?
No, I just don't care about baseball when college football's going on.
Yeah, I've sort of felt that way for like the last 3 weeks or so, but now it's Yankee season, baby. That's all we got.
You weren't on the Pick Central today, and the Yankees guys absolutely poo-pooed this idea, what I'm saying, we're about to say. The Yankee fans in this office, Marty Mush, Big Ev, and a couple of others, are really tempting fate with how much they're piling on the Mets right now. They're really fucking – I mean, they're just going after the Mets. They're getting up in the Mets kitchen. And, guys, y'all still got some hay to put in the barn here.
Yeah, I think that we often look at the AL Central and be like, they have no chance at ever beating us ever. I'm like, they are hot right now.
They're hot. And then, I mean, the Astros are, like, better.
Right, yeah. Get through this. Like, we got to get to the World Series.
We go to Daniel in Philadelphia. Hello, Daniel.
Hey, Brandon. Thanks for having me on.
Thanks.
I want to talk Michigan, Penn State. I think that, obviously, I mean, Alabama, Tennessee is getting all the headlines this week, but I actually find the game more interesting due to the fact that Michigan's a top 5 team, and I'd say that we know absolutely nothing about them because, as you pointed out, their first 2 games, none of those 3 teams had a pulse.
Yeah.
And really, since they started Big Ten play, they really haven't looked. They didn't look bad, but they haven't looked impressive either. So
they're 3-0 in the Big Ten, and that's against Maryland, Indiana, and Iowa. So we really don't know much about them in the Big Ten either. However, let me just say this: I don't know how much we know about Penn State. Penn State went on the road and has probably the best win between the two teams by beating Purdue on the road. Purdue's not a bad team. But how much do we know about Penn State? I think they look solid. I think their defense is good. But this game is going to be – it's a battle of not completely unknowns, but relatively unknowns. Like, I think we know a lot about Ohio State. I think we know a lot about Michigan State, who's garbage. But these two teams have both kind of gotten to this point without really having to show us a lot, even though Penn State's shown more. So that's an interesting idea, an interesting theory. I tell you what. I don't see 7 points difference in these two teams. I really don't. Thank you very much for the call. 888-STOOL-22. Go to line 1. Mike is in Stillwater. That's in Oklahoma. Hello, Mike.
Hey, how you doing, bud?
Oh, what's up?
I just want to say first off, prayers and everything to you and your family, man. Sorry about that. You had a hard week last week.
Thank you.
Quick 3 questions. Obviously OSU, TCU this week. I think it's -3.5 TCU. You have a feel on which way you're leaning. Are you kind of like me? You still think the Big 12 right now is, after the way Quinn Ewers is playing, it's kind of heading through Austin? They look kind of dangerous.
Oh, I think it's a combination of I would put the 2 favorites right now of Oklahoma State and Texas. TCU has been a good story, and I like that. But TCU hasn't really had to do it yet. They beat Oklahoma. Oklahoma's kind of garbage. They beat Kansas, and Kansas is a good story. But, Oklahoma State went on the road and beat Baylor, which is very impressive, and Texas stood toe-to-toe with Alabama. If I had to rank the contenders in the Big 12, I would go 1A and 1B, Oklahoma State and Texas, and then probably TCU right after that.
Nice. The last one, I know you, Dave, Big Cat, Casey have said on the college football show, have you ever actually had a chance to make it to like Eskimo Joe's in Stillwater or anything like that before?
No, I've heard the cheese fries at Eskimo Joe's are incredible. It is one place I want to go. It's one of the restaurants I want to go to across this great country of ours, but I've never been to Stillwater. I've never been to the state of Oklahoma, if I'm being honest. So I would love to go to Stillwater for a game.
Hopefully we can get some gambling in Oklahoma and you guys can come here for a show.
Yeah, get the book. Get the book so we can come. Thank you very much.
You see the Gundy story?
What's the Gundy story?
That he was apparently finalist for the Bucs job in 2011.
I love that whoever reported it as a bombshell. It happened 11 years ago.
Right. So it was him and Schiano for the job.
I got to say something. I haven't been here in a week. I forgot about the YouTube guys.
Oh, yeah.
I haven't been talking to my YouTube guys. I just realized Hey, YouTube. Sorry. My bad. What's up, Gold, Robber, and Mike, and Way Weary, and Adam Pocock, and Jacob Adrian, Tennis Champ 450, Alex Herrick, Luke UT86, Andrew Brown, Pop 454. Sorry. Pretty Dick 69. How could I forget Pretty Dick 69? What's up, guys? My bad. That's on me. That is on me. I apologize. Wait, am I logged in as Za on YouTube?
Possibly.
Yes,
Why
I
don't you
am.
go check his
I'm man like Za.
Man like Brandon.
Man like Za. Jackson Shelley. Phenom, Herschel Rickman. Tyler Hayes. Tyler O'Connor. Like and subscribe. Like the video, please. Beef Murky. Benjamin Russ. Eli Buto. Tyler Katowski. Billy Green. Robert Myers says you need the beard. You need to suck my dick.
I didn't even realize. Yeah, you shaved the beard.
Sure did. Yeah.
Was that because of the funeral? Or?
Get tired of the beard, man. I can get it about 6 weeks, and then I get tired of it. I just don't like the hair.
Your skin looks better though, so that's good.
I've been moisturizing more.
I got a discussion question to pros you with.
Is it about moisturizer?
No. Matt Rule's gone from the Carolina Panthers.
Yep.
If he comes back to college, which it seems like people are insinuating, where do you think he ends up?
I would probably lean Auburn there. I think Nebraska is focusing on a couple other guys. Matt Rule's probably in the discussion, but I think Nebraska's focused on maybe that Matt Campbell, Lance Leipold area. Of course, Wisconsin could get in the game with Leipold if they don't stick with Leonard. Georgia Tech isn't the worst thing in the world, but I would think that instead of going Georgia Tech, maybe Matt Rule would just wait another year. But Auburn makes a lot of sense. I know people say Hugh Freeze to Auburn, but you can't hire Hugh Freeze. So, yeah. I don't know. Auburn's going to try to get Lane Kiffin. Whether they can get him out of Oxford or not, they're going to try. 8-8, still 22. But I wouldn't see him taking like an Arizona State or anything like that. 8-8, still 22. Why does everybody want to talk about the Big Ten West? Andrew in Cincinnati, go ahead.
Yeah, Brandon, sorry for your loss. Good to have you back. Week's going to be better now with you here. Just got beef with you on Will Levis. It's personal at this point. What did he do to you?
Nothing.
I mean, we're talking about a guy with 69% completion percentage, which would end up being top 10 in the league.
Yeah. Oh, that's great.
Got 10 yards per attempt.
Woo.
He's not just dumping. He's not a Joe Flacco. He's not dinking and dunking. I want to know what the hate is on him. He's a good quarterback.
The problem is he's not.
The two Kentucky losses without him in there kind of shows it, huh?
The problem is that he's not really a good quarterback. So
what makes you say that, Brandon?
What makes me say that? And by the way, he played every snap against Ole Miss. So I don't know how you said they have 2 losses without.
He got hurt in the final play, Brandon. Didn't play the full game. You know how that works.
You dumb cunt. He absolutely played the whole game, and the only reason he got hurt because he didn't see a blitzer that anybody could have fucking seen. So here's my problem.
Got hurt,
Here's my problem. Shut up. Here's my problem with Will Levis. By the way, I say all this knowing full well he's about to throw for 390 yards and 5 touchdowns to beat Mississippi State. I've accepted that. But everything about him looks like a good quarterback. He's big. He's tall. Good-looking guy. Can throw the ball a mile. Tools. If that's the case, how come in now 11 SEC games he's thrown for more than 200 yards 3 times?
So that's your beef with him. He's just not putting up the yards.
I don't have beef. Where are you getting beef? I'm saying if he's everything that he's cracked up to be, why doesn't it happen on the field?
I think it is happening.
But it's not. It's not. He's had 11 SEC games, like I just said. He's cracked 200 yards. I didn't say 300 yards. I said 200 yards. He's thrown for less than 200 yards 8 out of 11 times he's played an SEC opponent. Why? Answer me why.
He's throwing 10 yards.
No. Answer me why.
He's getting 40 throws a game. He's getting that 300 yards. You know this.
Answer me why. If he's so good, why has he thrown for less than 200 yards 8 out of 11 games in the Southeastern Conference?
I just told you he's throwing 10 yards an attempt this season. Clearly, he's got.
You haven't answered anything. You're not saying anything.
It's the coaching, Brandon. I told you it's 10 yards an attempt. That's the 69% completion percentage. What more do you want from the guy?
I want him to not turn. I want him to not lead the SEC in interceptions like he did last year. How about that? Does a first round pick, does a great quarterback lead the conference in interceptions? Question. Can you answer that?
I mean, interceptions are pointless. You know, that's Peyton Manning, 30 interceptions.
All right, we're done. Interceptions are pointless. That man just said that out of his face. If interceptions were pointless, Jameis Winston's a top 5 quarterback in the fucking league. Interceptions are pointless. You know, I'll have a discussion about Will Levis, but you have to at least acknowledge that statistically he's been very average against SEC opponents. Now, when you play Ball State and Kent State, oh my God, he's your guy. Interceptions are pointless. Interceptions don't matter. Tell you what, let anybody's quarterback, who, if you're a college football fan, let your quarterback go throw 4 interceptions this Saturday and see if it matters. Let's have that happen. 8-8 still 22. Trey in Illinois, go.
Hey, Brandon. So Minnesota is coming to Champaign on Saturday, and right now they're a 6.5-point favorite. And I think it's a little absurd, even with Tommy DeVito probably not playing on Saturday. If you look at these two teams on paper, they look like the same team. They've both got stellar defenses. Mo Ibrahim and Chase Brown are phenomenal running backs. But Michigan's 4 wins are New Mexico State, who's 1-5 right now, Western Illinois, who's 0-5, Colorado, who is probably the worst Power 5 team in the country, they're 0-5, and then their biggest win on the season so far is Michigan State, who's 2-4. What do you think? Is 6.5 points, even with Satowski probably starting, way too much?
You know, I kind of feel like it is because Illinois' defense is very, very good. If I'm not mistaken, Minnesota had a bye week to get prepared for this game. They didn't play last week, right? So, I don't know. It does feel like another slugfest, another ugly one. They just played a 9-6 game against Iowa. Maybe it's not that ugly, but can I see a 13-10 final either way here? Yeah, I think I can. It is hard to find 6.5 points difference between these two teams. I will 100% agree with you, sir.
All right. So.
All right, thanks. That was fine. We go to Tim in Tennessee. Go ahead, Tim.
Hey, Brother Brandon. I know you're one of the greatest minds in college football, but how in the hell can you have Will Rogers ahead of Hendon Hooker? That might be the dumbest take you have ever had, considering Will Rogers throws it 50 times a game against shit-ass teams. How can you – and doesn't – I mean,
Will Rogers has –
put Hendon Hooker in Mike Leach's system, he'd have 50 touchdowns already. It's just stupid.
Hendon Hooker currently ranks 47th in America in touchdown passes. Hendon Hooker currently ranks 48th in passing yards in America. Hendon Hooker is a very, very good quarterback, and he's been fantastic. But he also plays in a wide-open system, too. He has great receivers, too. So if he is, and by the way, I have Hendon Hooker 3rd in the fucking country, you goddamn dumbass redneck. So if you're going to call and bitch about it, maybe don't bitch about a quarterback ahead of him who has about 600 more yards and about 12 more touchdowns.
If Hendon Are you okay?
Yeah. Are you?
Yeah, I'm fine. I'm just. You done?
I don't know.
I'm just trying to.
Good call, thanks. That was a good call. 8-8 still 22. 8-8 still 22. By the way, I don't know Hendon Hooker's exact stats. I was trying to pull it up. But he hasn't – he's been good, really good, fantastic actually. But his stats are weird. His stats are really weird. I just tried to look up Hendon Hooker ATATs. That doesn't work. Hendon Hooker stats. I looked him up for my list, and I do have him. By the way, I listed him number 3 in the country. Like, you're going to cry that I listed your quarterback. You haven't been relevant in 20 years. I listed your quarterback number 3, and you're going to bitch about that? That's what sucks about Tennessee getting good again, man. Their fans are just so goddamn dumb. And they are like fucking roaches. They're everywhere.
The videos of them at LSU this weekend were
Can
insane.
I please look up Hendon Hooker stats, phone? God damn.
I think Katie's got him.
Katie who? Katie stats. That makes sense. Hendon Hooker stats, by the way, he's got 10 touchdowns, tied for 47th in the country. Yeah, what? Did Katie have him?
Yeah, 0 interceptions, QBR of 90.4.
QBR is not a real stat.
Okay.
Can somebody turn that woman's mic on?
1,432 yards.
That mic not work anymore?
I guess mics just don't work. Way Weary says, Brandon, does Alabama cheat? Yeah. That's all right. Some reason
mic wasn't plugged in.
They can't give you a good mic.
It's not plugged in. They sabotaged us. Can I ask why Talia fell off the list?
He's thrown 5 interceptions, and I don't know. It was a tough list to crack. He's not been bad.
He has flashes of like insane.
He has flashes of great, and he has flashes of bad.
He's also not playing on a very good team.
Easton in Nebraska, go.
Hey, Brandon. I just wanted to say that I don't really see right now how Purdue doesn't win the Big Ten West. I want to give you I'm just wondering how they don't. Also, what's the reason that you think that Matt Rule won't come to Nebraska? I'm just a college student here, not a diehard Nebraska fan like my whole life, but I know that you said that they were looking other directions, but he did just get fired today, so I mean, there's a chance they didn't even know it was a possibility up until today.
Can I ask you a question? First of all, people that make the hires, they knew it was a possibility months ago. Okay, so don't worry about that. Everybody in college football knew Matt Rule was going to be available. Everybody.
It looked like he was on his way out for a while, but
everybody knew Matt Rule was going to be available, and his agent's been talking to people for months. Don't worry about that. But would you rather have Matt Rule or Lance Leipold?
I take Lance. I know it's a smaller, we haven't seen Lance be great at Kansas for very long, but they are playing really well right now, and nobody saw any expectations with them. We also didn't have a huge sample size of Matt Rule at Baylor, so
yeah, and he was also playing a little bit with Bryles guys too. But I just want to correct you on one thing. When you say nobody saw Kansas coming, I did. I saw him coming. I told you in the preseason. Remember that, TJ?
I remember.
Pepperidge Farm remembers. I have an itchy nose. Katie asked Brandon, what's more impressive, Hendon's interception stats or Will Rogers' TD stats? Let's see. How many interceptions has Hendon thrown? Has he thrown 0? Because Will Rogers, leading the country in attempts, has thrown 3 interceptions. Hendon Hooker, 44th in the country in yards with 1,432. 10 touchdowns, tied for 47th in the country. 0 interceptions, tied for first. Impressive. But I'm going to need more than 1,432 and 10 if I'm going to crown a guy the second best or first best quarterback in the country. Will Rogers, double the attempts, double the yards, double the TDs, 3 more interceptions. 888 still 22. We go to Jack in Virginia. Hello, Jack.
Hey, Brandon. Thanks for taking my call.
First of all, let me just start by saying thank you for fucking telling these Kentucky fans what they need to hear. Will Levis is not a special quarterback. It's ridiculous that he's going to be taken the first round of the NFL draft. What you said is completely correct. Tall, big, can get it out fast, but he is average. And no average, middle of the pack quarterback in the SEC has been successful in the NFL. Not one comes to my mind. Drew Lock threw for, 3,400 yards a season with a worse Missouri team in the same SEC East.
Yeah.
And look where that's gotten him in the NFL.
Yeah. No, I just – and the thing is, Kentucky fans, I don't think last year believed Will Levis was the best quarterback in the country, but some dipshit at Pro Football Focus in the offseason or somebody else that does drafts said, oh, my God, this guy's a first-round pick. Yep. Now every fucking – swinging dick in Kentucky thinks Will Levis is one of the best quarterbacks in the country. The problem is he's just not. He's not. Nothing he's ever done with his right arm on a football field has been among the best in the country. And until that happens, I'm not going to say he's one of them. So sorry that I tell you the truth, Kentucky fans. And again,
absolutely.
Go ahead. You had a different topic, though?
Come again, say that one more time.
I can't repeat myself. Y'all don't get. I don't like when people don't hear what I say. It's not your fault. I can't repeat myself. I'm gonna get a divorce one day because I'm gonna say, yeah, let's go eat at Pizza Hut. What'd you say? No, we're just not gonna eat tonight. It's not gonna eat. Sorry, y'all can't eat.
I haven't had Pizza Hut since I was in elementary school.
I love Pizza Hut. It's my favorite of the national chains. I don't like Domino's. Papa John's is pretty good. You know what's special about Papa John's?
The pepperoncini and the garlic thing?
The garlic butter for the crust. Woo! Woo! Yes, sir. Nothing better than eating about 3 slices of pizza, letting it settle, and coming back and just taking the crust through the garden, baby.
What they do, but it's very difficult to eat a pizza from a pizzeria, an entire pizza. Seems very easy to eat an entire Papa John's or Domino's pizza.
I kind of go against that. I can't eat a whole Papa John's pizza, but John's a Bleecker, I can take one down. I can take one down by myself.
Yeah, that's very yeah. That shit is right.
That shit.
That should be hitting.
That shit. Let's go to Rodney in Mississippi. Go ahead, Rodney.
Welcome back, King.
Thank you.
Good to have you.
Thank you.
Now, I'm going to prove a great point. Now, I'm an Ole Miss fan, and I hate Mississippi State, but Will Rogers, I would take him over the Tennessee quarterback, Hooker.
Yeah, I just think Will Rogers having an incredibly special year. His numbers are awesome. They're fantastic. He's not throwing interceptions. He's been great. And people see Mississippi State beside his name and say, oh, he can't be better than our quarterback. Well, yeah, he actually can, and that's legal.
You know how they look down on us down here in Mississippi for some reason, but
they do.
We play football pretty good down here, but I told you about that running game, Brandon. This helping y'all a lot.
Yeah, it has. It's been a game changer. Of course, we played a couple bad teams. Arkansas is not good. A&M's not very good. So I'm excited about what's happening, but we haven't. Kentucky's probably the best team we played so far. They're better than both of those teams.
I think y'all finna go up there and beat Kentucky, even if they have Levis.
I'm nervous about it. I don't like it. I don't like it at all, but we'll see.
I know what you mean. I'm worried about going to Arkansas and A&M, and they probably will beat Ole Miss, but I know what you're talking about. But anyways, it's just good to have you back, and this Egg Bowl this year could be something. You know what, Brandon?
Yeah, it's going
to be. I respect you. I know you hate Ole Miss.
I do. Hold on. Hey, Max, I'm on a live show right now. I can call you in 11 minutes. You good?
Yeah, all right.
All right, MJF, I'll talk to you in a little bit.
We're not friends.
I know. Don't clip that.
He's so good, man.
He's so fucking good. Oh, man. Sorry, I probably should have kept that other caller on because I don't know if he was – I don't know if he's playing a character or not. But I had to
he sounded very, on the older side.
Yeah, I had to do that.
I put in the notes, extremely southern voice. Hoping you click on it.
Oh, man. Where are we at? Line's 7. Evan in Chicago, go.
Hey, Brandon, huge fan. Hope you're doing well. I want to talk about Ohio State and the absolute masterclass they've been putting on this year. JSN is probably our best wide receiver, and he's been hurt pretty much the whole year.
Yeah.
With that, Marvin Harrison Jr. has stepped up, and he's had some monster games. Is it too early to crown Marvin Harrison Jr. the best wide receiver at Ohio State?
Yeah, it's too early, and it's incorrect. However, what Ohio State has been doing in silence as they play teams that aren't as good as the teams they're going to play later is they're once again amassing the biggest swinging dick army of wide receivers in the country. They have the best receiver in the country not playing, Jackson Smith-Njigba, and it hasn't mattered at all because Marvin Harrison Jr. has been incredible. Egbuka's good. The other guy, they've got multiple weapons.
Fleming.
Thank you, Fleming, the former number 1 recruit overall. They've got outstanding. Their receivers have been the best in the country this year, and that is without the best receiver in the country. So when he gets back, how do you stop him? How do you stop him? Really? Because you have a receiving core that's going to take up everybody you got on defense to stop him, and as soon as you do that, they're just going to hand it to their All-American running back. And by the way, their backup running back, he's just as fucking good. Mayan Williams is also incredible. So they are – I don't know that people appreciate how good Ohio State really is offensively because they don't have a flaw. They don't have a weakness. Their offensive line's great. I just think people believe because of what they did against Notre Dame and it wasn't that impressive, that's who they are. You better get ready because this might be the best Ohio State team in a decade.
Agreed. We're running through the Big Ten. I can't wait to see Penn State and Michigan cry this year.
I think they're going to destroy Michigan. Penn State's going to be a little tougher. It's on the road, but I just don't see anybody slowing them down at all. 888 still 22. Why are the chatter just talking about it's just Tennessee fans in the chat? What, y'all think this was a fucking Dolly Parton concert? Why the fuck are just Tennessee fans all up in the chat? Be cool if it was a Dolly Parton concert, though. Who's the best musician from Tennessee? Is it her? Probably her. Can't think of. I mean, I'm sure there's been some great ones. You know, Garth Brooks was from Oklahoma. George Strait's from Texas. Where are we at? We go to how much time we got? Oh, we'll go here. Jordan in Georgia. Go ahead.
Hey man, I was just wondering, how do you know Josh Tate? Did y'all just meet as you went along in your career? Or?
As our careers have kind of paralleled each other a little bit, him rising to what he's doing, me doing what I'm doing here. We noticed that we enjoyed each other. I believe we enjoy each other's content and the way we think about college football. So I don't know who reached out to who at first, but we have a pretty decent relationship. He's very good at what he does.
Yeah, I mean, have y'all ever really hung out like in person, or is it just kind of?
I've never met him in person. I've never met him in person.
Okay.
I've been to Tennessee game the last 2 years where we didn't cross paths. He was there, I was there, but I've never met him in person. It's only been through Twitter and this show.
Yeah. I mean, you're the king of the South, but I like to bounce off of him and you and kind of get a conglomerate idea of.
He is he's great. He doesn't have the rough edges I got, but he
Yeah.
I feel like I'll tell you, I'll cut through everything. If I think you're being fucking stupid, I'll tell you you're being fucking stupid, and he smartly won't do that. So, but he sees the game in a very, very unique way.
Yeah, appreciate it.
All right, thank you very much. 888 still 22. I might just go until I get tired tonight. Y'all just stay there. It's just Stefan, right? It's not one of the good ones. It's not one of the ones we like over there, correct? All right. We go to Dallas in Atlanta.
Hey, Brian. I hope you're doing good.
Thank you.
So I'm a big Georgia fan, but I'm living up in Knoxville now, and these Tennessee fans, man, they are fully convinced, everybody around me, that they're about to win this game Saturday. And I had to get your opinion on what they really think, what you really think is going to happen, because I just think they're about to get blown out of the water Saturday, and it's going to be embarrassing for them, and I just can't wait to see it.
Well, I think if Jalen Milroe plays, Tennessee will have their biggest win in decades. If Bryce Young plays, Tennessee will have to lick their chops and get ready for the next opponent. I think Bryce Young makes that big of a difference. I think Alabama will go in there. I mean, Alabama's used to going places. There'll be 108,000 people there. It's going to be crazy, but they're used to going to places and playing crazy crowds. So that's not going to scare Bryce Young. Tennessee offensively is very, very good and will score points, but their defense, to me, just hasn't really had to pass a stiff test yet. LSU doesn't give you a stiff test. Florida doesn't really do it, and Florida did score 33 against them. They haven't had to face anything like Bryce Young in Alabama, and whenever we see Alabama play poorly, it rarely happens twice in a row. Very rarely happens twice in a row, and they just played poorly the other night. So I believe this is a spot Alabama's going to assert its dominance. Not to say Tennessee's not having a great year. They don't have a great coach or a great team. I just would lean Alabama pretty heavy if Bryce Young plays. Again, if he doesn't play, it changes everything.
I hear you. I'm really hoping this game goes Alabama, and I just can't wait to see these Tennessee fans be crying this whole time.
Well, here's the thing. Dallas, thank you very much. If you've never lived through Tennessee being good, you don't know what's coming. You really don't, because you think you know what obnoxious fan bases are. And I say this with affection for Tennessee because they have built an obnoxious army that is unlike any other. When Tennessee is good, they're the worst, most obnoxious, most overbearing fan base in sports. Not college sports, not American sports. When Tennessee is good, and I mean national title good, their fan base is something. And they've been hibernating for a long time. And when they come out of hibernation, it's going to change your guys' opinion of Tennessee. I can handle it. 888 Stool 22. We don't have that many calls. We don't have that much time. Carter in Texas. Go ahead, Carter.
Hey, what's going on, man? I just wanted to talk to you about the Big 12 real quick.
Mm-hmm.
So, Brent Venables, his defense has not been up to par. What do you think it would take for him to be on the hot seat?
Well, I don't think he's going to go on the hot seat in year one, but I do think there's some troubling signs there. This guy was one of the best defensive coordinators in the country, and while I realize Oklahoma's defensive talent probably isn't what it's been in the past, it's also not devoid of talent. There's talent on the team. If you look at the recruiting stars and what they had left, there's talent on the team. You're telling me Oklahoma should be giving up 55, 41, and 49 in 3 straight games? No, that shouldn't happen. That shouldn't ever happen. And I know it happened under Lincoln Riley, but they were scoring 50 points and winning the game anyway. But if I hire the best defensive coordinator in the country, I need to see at least some improvement defensively. Why are they getting worse? That's weird. So he's not going on the hot seat because they'll give him one good recruiting cycle to get this thing fixed and one transfer cycle to get it fixed. You can get it fixed in 15 minutes with the right phone calls. So he's not on the hot seat, but there are some troubling signs with Venables at Oklahoma, in my opinion.
If you don't mind, if I ask one more.
Go ahead.
If Quinn never got hurt, what do you think Texas would be ranked?
I think they'd be number 1, 2, or 3 in the country. I think they'd be undefeated.
Thank you. All right, I agree.
All right. I mean, people don't like to hear that, but that's what I think. All right, let's see. What have the Hawkeyes got good? Fans will be uncontrollable. They're uncontrollable now. The show's over? Show over? Show's over. Sorry. Love you. Bye. Playing the music.